Hi there. Hi there, this is Sharmin here. In this video, I'm going to talk about ratio and proportions. Well, ratio is a comparison between two numbers or two things. For example, here is 3 notebooks and 6 pens. So 3 is to 6. Hi there, this is Sharmin. Ratio, a mathematical relationship between two or more numbers. Ratios can be represented in many ways. So here is the 3 flowers and 5 fruits. So 3 is to 5. Or you can write a fraction form 3 divided by 5. So here is a 3 way you can write, that is colon form, is to form, and a fraction form, word form, that is. Equivalent ratios: 5 stars to 6 hearts. The ratio of the stars to heart is 2 is to 6. This is equivalent to 1 star to 3 hearts. The ratio of stars to heart is 1 is to 3. Ratios can be simplified. The term of the ratio can be divided by the same factor to create a simplified ratios, just like fraction. Using ratio language, there are many ways to describe the relationship between two quantities. The ratio of apples to bananas is 2 to 3. The ratio of bananas to apple is 3 to 2. For every 3 bananas, there are 2 apples, and for every 2 apples, there are 3 bananas. And out of 5 pieces of fruit, and 2 are apples. How many different ways can the relationship between the quantities of cats and mice be described using ratio language? Practice. In a basketball game, a player made 5 baskets out of 8 atoms. How many ways can the accuracy of the player's shooting be described using ratio language? In a garden, there are 12 roses and 8 daisies. Using ratio language, how many different ways can the relationship between these quantities be described? So here's the answer, guys. So you can check your answer here. Proportion is a pair of equal ratios. So that means the product of the means is equal to the product of extremes. For example, 1 is to 3 equal 2 is to 6. So here's a 3 and 2, that is the means. And 1 and 6, here is the extremes. All right. All right, now I'm going to talk about direct proportion. So two quantities are said to be directly proportional if the change in one produces a change in the other in same direction. All Steps in finding the missing term in a direct proportion. Identify the means and extremes and multiply the means and extremes and divide both sides by the given number that is paired with the unknown. So here is one example. 2 jeepneys can transport 40 people. How many jeepneys are needed to transport 80 people? So here is 2 is to 40 and we need to figure out the n value, that is n is to 80. So how many jeepneys are needed? So it is 4 jeepneys are needed to transport 80 people. All right, now I'm going to talk about indirect proportion. So two quantities are said to be indirectly proportional if an increase in one produces a decrease in the other or vice versa. Steps in finding the missing term in indirect proportion. Identify the first, second, third, and fourth term. Multiply the first term and second term, then third term and fourth term. Divide both sides by the given number that is paired with the unknown. Here's an example. Four men can complete a project in 9 days. How many men will be needed if the project is to be completed in 6 days? So here is a how many men. So we know that 4 is to 9, and here is the anvil we need to figure out. So that is the 6. Partitive proportion, that is the number is divided into equal parts and proportion into a given ratio. So it's a involved part to whole proportion, whole ratios equivalent to each other. Steps in finding the missing term in a partitive proportion. Add the parts of the ratio in the given, set up the part to whole proportion, and divide both sides by the given number that is paired with the unknown. Here's one example. And Jane and Miss shared 360 stamps in the ratio of 3 is to 4 is to 5. How many stamps did Anne got? So here's a part of N and total of the parts. That is 3 is to 12 and N is to 360. So here's a 90 stamps did and got. Thanks, guys. See you later.